Hello and welcome to DCP SideQuest episode number 128. It's a special edition because it's just Brian and I having a little fireside conversation. Right, Brian?
It's a little sexy time. Two beards,
one
sexy time. Podcast.
Talking about sandals.
Oh, yeah. A little croc talk.
Croc talk and Ryu sandals, you know.
I told Tefty before the show I've been fully erect for like 16 hours after that Street Fighter 6 announcement.
I mean, you've been anticipating Street Fighter 6 for what? Years at this point?
I mean, they started talking about it about a year ago, right?
Yeah. Okay. So it was officially on the radar a year ago. And yeah. Now it's a reality. It's coming true.
Yeah.
A dream come true.
So if anybody doesn't know, they showed like a little teaser trailer for it, right? It was like, 15 seconds, 20 seconds long, but they show Ryu and they show one of the newer characters, Luke. But the detail that they show on these characters is nuts. A lot of speculation that it's in the RE engine, which is like Capcom's new like awesome engine.
Yeah.
But like you can see like Ryu kind of like flexing, and you see his like back muscles like tightening, and you can see the sweat like dripping down his skin. And then the other character, Luke, is like, making a fist, and you can see his like Popeye arm muscles kind of like tightening, and it just looks
you get the impression
amazing.
Like the energy and stuff that they start casting coming from like the arm and all that. Yeah, that detail is insane. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it looks sick. Last week we were talking a little bit about it because that timer had shown up, right? Is the timer for Capcom. Like, we didn't know what it was going to be. A lot of people thought it was Street Fighter 6, and it was Street Fighter 6. But like, one of the things I was wondering is like, is this going to look like another Street Fighter 4 or 5, where like an evolution of that style? But it doesn't seem to be. It looks like a much more detailed, version of Street Fighter, which is cool.
Yeah, and RE engine Street Fighter is really interesting because those visuals are so good, and like it definitely had that Street Fighter flair in that reveal trailer. But yeah, the details of the muscles and obviously it's cinematic, so I don't know how much that's truly going to transfer to actual gameplay. But if they do hit some sort of realism on there, actually, how do you feel about the game getting more and more realistic looking? Do you like that?
I thought it looked cool. Like, if that's what we get, like if that's kind of like the general design philosophy of what the game's going to look like, obviously it's going to look different once the characters are like on the screen fighting each other and there's a background and all that stuff. But like a more detailed, I struggle to use the word realistic. I mean, it does look more realistic, I suppose, but the characters are definitely still pretty...
Yeah, like, there's a thing
stylized.
I'm sure there's a name specifically for it, but like hyper realistic, artsy looking, like hyper real cartoon almost. It's like the Alita Battle Angel, like those type of movies where they look highly realistic, but they're clearly rendered.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it looked great. I'm just looking forward to another Street Fighter. I'm really enjoying Street Fighter 5. I'm also playing King of Fighters 15 that just came out this week.
Nice.
Which is actually stunning looking, and like comparing that to Street Fighter 5, which I still think looks good, but like seeing like what like a brand new game looks like, and knowing like the budget difference between what a King of Fighters gets and a Street Fighter can get, like, I mean, I think we're in for something special with Street Fighter, assuming that the game plays okay. Street Fighter 5 didn't launch in a great spot.
Yeah, didn't it take a couple of years for it to kind of fix things? Like the netcode was trashed for like a good year or something, right?
Some people would say this netcode still trashed. Great.
Okay. My bad.
I mean, I play a lot on the internet, and I only have a problem like once every 10 matches or something, so it's not like
bad.
Awful. Yeah. But yeah, that little snippet of a trailer I thought looked stupid good. Like the part where Ryu's like standing, he's got sandals on, which is weird because he's
never had sandals.
But anyway,
right?
No, this is first. This is unprecedented. Stop the presses.
Are they going to release a Street Fighter 6 Ryu edition sandal that people could buy?
I want one of the alternate costumes to have Crocs, man. If they put Ryu in Crocs, I would sit here, I could die happy.
Yeah, you'd be fully realized Briar, right?
It'd be like no other characters necessary. That would be insane. I would love that. Yeah, they also announced at the same announcement is that what is it called? It was like the geez, I forgot what it was called. I'm sorry.
No problem.
The Capcom Fighting Collection? Yeah, Capcom Fighting Collection, which has like 10 games from like classic 90s era, 10 fighting games, like all the Darkstalkers games, like Gem Fighter, which is kind of like chibi Street Fighter, which I only played for the first time last year on the Saturn, it was actually really fun. Redder, Cyberbots, and Hyper Street Fighter 2.
Nice.
But they're all getting training modes, which none of these games ever had before. So you can go into a training mode and like learn the moves.
Yeah.
And they're also getting online play with rollback netcode, which is, the premium online experience, which is actually a pretty nice package. Oh, we just lost Craig.
Craig, man. Craig's been having problems.
Craig's gone. He's out. I didn't come here to listen about Street Fighter, Briar. I came here to listen about Horizon Zero Dawn. Get to the fucking good stuff.
Let me fix Briar's camera here, since that's going to be an issue.
But yeah, this Capcom fighting game collection looks really good. And this one's getting a physical copy on Switch, PS4, Xbox One. No PS5 or Xbox Series version, which I was surprised about.
Do you think...
why not?
Okay, two things. Maybe it's like they're planning a bigger excitement with it, so they want to like hold off on announcing that for like some sort of special edition, or are they just trying to do a really slow rollout because wasn't Street Fighter V first on PlayStation 4?
Only PlayStation 4.
Yeah,
never came to Xbox. Well, it's also on PC. I'm sorry, but no Switch, no Xbox.
Yeah, I feel like it first came out on PS4. I could be wrong, but yeah so it's a little strange that the selection of the platforms on there. That's why I think it's got to be something that they announce later for some special thing.
Maybe. I mean, in reality, like there's no need for it to be on the next gen consoles, like because you could play the old games. You can play PS4 games on a PS5.
Oh right.
And it's not like you're taking advantage of the extra power with a game from the 90s. So maybe they just figure we'll just release it for the older consoles, so it keeps like the player population a little more consolidated. Yeah,
I could see that being a thing. Yeah, that would make sense.
Or maybe it's just extra cost, or maybe they're just going to do it later. Who knows?
Yeah, or like a turbo. What if they did Street Fighter 6 Turbo and it's the upgrade for the consoles?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm talking about the collection, not Street Fighter.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, my bad.
So yes, the collection is only coming out for PS4, Xbox One, and PC and Switch, not for PS5 or Xbox
That makes
Series.
way more sense.
I'm sure Street Fighter 6 will come out for the next gen consoles.
Yeah, then that would make sense that they would only do the previous gen because it definitely doesn't need the PS5 hardware for that stuff. So yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting, man. I mean, this is your thing, right?
Yeah, I'm happy. This is fun. Like I love Street Fighter. Like I've always loved Street Fighter. It's just and more Street Fighter is more better. And like I know people get like there's some people who are upset about the art style. Like they're not taking away your old Street Fighter. You can still play that. Like
true.
It's just new, more Street Fighter.
Don't like Destiny 2? Go play Destiny 1, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Tefty, you've been playing Horizon?
I have, yeah. It's a game, all right. You know what I'm saying?
It sure is. You're playing on PlayStation 5, I would assume, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, PS5.
Okay, so
thank God.
It asks you, do you want to play in performance or in, I don't know, 60 or 30 FPS?
It's resolution
Which one did you choose?
Or performance. So I originally started with the 4K resolution mode because I'm playing on a 4K HDR TV. So I want to see the splendor. And it said with like lowered frame rates. So I didn't think, I was like, maybe it's going to be dipping down to 45 or something like that. No, it's 30 FPS if you do
lock.
Lock 30 FPS. And I went with it for a bit because, again, I wanted to see, because the game looks incredible, right? I mean, I think we can all agree.
Absolutely stunning, yeah.
Horizon, the latest Horizon looks remarkably good in 4K. Like, holy crap, this is some amazing scenery, skybox, just the animation, art stuff. Like, wow, it's incredible. So seeing that in 4K on a 4K HDR TV with the resolution mode is really beautiful. I definitely got sick of the 30 FPS. So halfway through, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I have to switch it to the performance. And it was like a drink of water. I was like, oh my God, I'm so thirsty. Thank you for this frame rate.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I really hope that I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just talking about 60 FPS being so damn good.
It's so good. I really hope that the future of the PlayStation 5 and the Series X aren't the high resolution mode. Like, we have to fit ray tracing in here, so we're going to make 30 FPS. Right?
It feels like it.
It feels like that's going to happen, right? But I really like the 60 FPS mode. Just leave it in there. Like, I don't care what sacrifices you have to make to the graphics. I just prefer 60 FPS over like the graphical splendor of 30. Like, if I need to lose ray tracing, if I need to lose resolution, I'm okay with it. Especially on a TV that's 10 feet away, where I'm not pixel peeping this thing like Digital Foundry style.
Yeah, so with switching to it, you could definitely tell the resolution loss. And I know that it's missing ray tracing, but at least I think, but it didn't impact visuals enough for me to be disappointed over, like, the 60 FPS gain is so big, especially for something like aiming a bow, with these.
Yeah.
Any of the combat, like in 30 FPS, I felt like the controls were janky. In 60 FPS, they felt considerably better. Still janky at times, but definitely better than that 30 FPS experience.
It's a little jank in this game, for sure. Like, Alloy feels a little bit clumsy to me. Like, you mean to, like, walk up to, like, a desk and, like, read the data pad on there, and you end up, like, standing on the desk, and, like, you're like, oh, what the fuck? Are you trying to, like, swim up to a ladder, and you, like, swim behind it, and, like,
do some pop thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things for sure. I thought it was like maybe mainly a 30 FPS thing, but then noticing when you come up to, you want to search like a scavenger or something like that, and you have to be literally right on top of it, and like it's like your cursor can't be looking away from it. You have to kind of be looking at the thing specifically to interact with it. So that's it's weird. The game looks so gorgeous, and then to have little things like that affect your gameplay experience, it feels like a contradiction,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is a little thing. It does bug me a little bit. Like, every once in a while, I'm like, why is she so clumsy? Like, I just want her to, like, walk up gracefully to this thing, or like, she needs to, like, stand in front of a thing that scans her face so I can open a door. And it's like, oh no, you missed that. Now, like, you gotta kind of go back. Just I don't know. That's a third person kind of thing, but like the best of the third person games, like, seem to get that right. Also, it does that thing. This is one of those games where you have to pick up every motherfucking thing in the world.
Yeah.
And there's an animation for it. And, like, I feel like there should be an animation for the first time you do it. But then from then on, just, like, walk by, let me hit the X button, and, like, just keep moving, right? Like, the intention of me picking up is fine.
Why do I have to hold triangle every time I need to search this? Like, don't make me hold the button a million times by the time I'm done.
A million times.
By the time I'm done with the game. Like, just let me tap triangle because I need to access what's in this crate, right?
Yeah.
Little things like that.
The resource collection is on, like, a very high level here. It's like you just are constantly, like, picking shit up, and there's a specific animation every time you do it that it's not like Red Dead Redemption 2 level where you, like, sit there for 30 seconds, but it is a pause in the gameplay.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, man, this game, it's really good looking. The characters and the voice acting and the animation of, like, people, like, having a conversation is so good. Like, it's so realistic and lifelike.
Yeah, the character details are in. We just got done talking about Street Fighter, and like that, those character details looking amazing. And I feel like we're seeing some of that already in this game, where the character models are just amazing. Like, we're beginning to experience that, the next generation of stuff where movie grade assets really are coming into games and vice versa. Like, you're beginning to see those things merge right now with games like Horizon. That's exciting. Very exciting to see that.
It really is. I thought like the.
I was going to say on the characters and story. So I feel like the main characters are done really well. Like I dig that. As soon as you get into the side quest stuff, that once again, it's like the jank in the controls. It's like there's jank in the characters and the story writing for side quest stuff. So like Silence, Aloy, all that, like obviously top notch characters and writing is like, okay, this is fascinating. Yeah, I like this. And then you get to these side quests, you're like, what is this?
Deep drop off.
Yeah, it's like they look good.
I ran across like a monk on a cliff, and I don't think he's actually animated. Like I think he just sits there like while he's talking. It's a steep drop off. I guess you expect that with side quests in like an open world game because there's so many of them, right? It totally is doing that. Like, there's a lot once you open up the open world because it's like 8 hours before you open up the open world in this game. Like, so you're kind of in this like open-ish, like small hubby kind of place. Like I think the name of the town is like Chainside or Ironside or something like that. But once you kind of like do like a specific series of quests, you like open up to the wide world, and you are confronted with, oh, this is an open world game. Like,
do you look at that map?
A ton of stuff on this map.
Yeah, you pop that map open. You're in that first area, and then you scan over and you see the rest. You're like, whoa, there's a lot. This game is big.
I was enjoying it. Like going through that first 7 hours. But I was actually just talking to Sparty in the chat before the show, and he's at the exact same point I am, where there is a story kind of reveal that has absolutely motivated me. Okay, well, I clearly have to finish this game because I have to know what happens now. Like it's that important, and like that's coming from somebody who's like, after the first game, I was kind of like, well, that was a really cool story. But they wrapped it up. I don't need any more Horizon. But what they've done, I think, with this, and it's too bad that it takes like 8 hours to get there. But what they've done with this story, like I find to be really interesting, and I have a suspicion that I know where it's going. And if I'm right, then I'm really interested, like, and motivated to see the conclusion of this.
Nice.
Yeah, it's too bad it takes 8 hours to get there.
Yeah, it's definitely long. Because I'm still in the beginning, like the hub area, the chain breaker, whatever the crap it's called, that town. Because I've been doing like all the side quests. I was like, I want it. When you look at the character tree, and you see all the character points that you're going to need to be able to upgrade all those trees. I was like, whoa, all right, I'm definitely going to do these side quests because each one gives you like 2 or 3 points. So I started knocking those out and trying to get a little leveling and all that. Because I'm also playing on hard. I'm not playing on very hard, but 1 down. Because I want a challenge when I'm trying to fight these robots and all that. But there's a lot. This game has a lot.
Yeah.
I'm really, I'm happy they continued the story as well. Going from, because the first story I really enjoyed. It had the same issue where the side quests were like, what is even happening with these side quests? And there's a whole character face animation that was terrible for a while. But the voice acting and the golden line, I thought was extremely fascinating with the first one.
Very good.
Yeah. And I feel like for the most part, they've continued the same type of setup because, God, the game looks so good. Gorgeous.
It does. Yeah. It really, like, what's amazing too is that it looks really good on a PlayStation 4. Like, it's nice playing on a PlayStation 5 with 4K graphics or 60 FPS. But I've seen video of this thing running on a base PS4, and it still looks really good. So, like, this is just apparently talent at work because
I mean, the first one looked great too. First one was
it did. This one definitely looks better though.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I'm not refuting that at all. But like the first one had a high visual appeal, and this one, like the beasts, the robots, and all that, like. They are so well done looking. And like the effects that happen. I don't know if it's because it's 60 FPS, 4K type of thing that's happening, but I'm just like, man, you feel like you're in it. And then some random ass story about some mines that you got to go take care of. You're like, what?
Yeah. The side quests. I don't know. Like I watched Skill Up's review and he's like, the side quests are so good. It's the main story that I didn't really dig on. I'm like, this man is clearly delusional.
Maybe I just haven't seen those side quests.
Maybe I just haven't gotten to those cool side quests yet because I have not seen it. But the main quest, I'm like, oh shit, okay, now I understand why there had to be a Horizon 2, right?
Yeah.
It's like, because I mean, in the first one, they kind of wrapped it up. They saved the world.
They did not wrap it up, Briar. We've had this conversation, man. Silence left on a big old cliffhanger. It was like, oh my god, I need a second Horizon right now to know what happens with Silence, you know? Briar.
I don't know. I was satisfied with the ending of the first one. So I gotta ask you, Tefty.
Yeah.
Elden Ring's coming out this week.
Wait, hold on. Before we move on to that, though.
Okay.
But I was curious actually about combat and how you felt about it. Like what difficulty are you playing on that right now?
Just normal, whatever the default is.
Okay. I
didn't change it.
Do you remember how combat felt in the first one?
I remember I wanted a mouse to really be able to like precisely aim quickly.
Do you feel like you still feel that way?
No, I feel pretty confident about it right now. That's a good point. I don't know why that is because I feel actually it's maybe a little more precise. Maybe I'm just using the slowdown feature better.
You think it's a 60 FPS?
Maybe. Could be
it. Because I really think it makes a big difference when doing those action aiming shots and all that. You know?
Sure.
Like
especially if you're not slowing things down, right? Like,
yeah, for sure. I mean, the slowdown obviously makes a big difference. And again, that character grid, all those options that you can unlock, like you really...
Yeah.
Like, Aloy in the first one definitely had a lot of progression to unlock stuff. This one, I don't know if it's just because it's visualized different, but it feels like a much bigger character tree to dig into and unlock stuff and kind of choose how you want to attack monsters and all that. Robots.
Do you know if
dinosaurs?
like on a playthrough, do you expect to unlock all that stuff, or do you think
I don't know.
Choose your path.
Yeah, I haven't looked into it, and I don't know if you could reset points. But they like I said, those side quests, some of them offer 2-3 points, maybe more. So I definitely think like doing those side quests are very important if you want a fully kitted out Aloy, which according to Skill Up, they're the best part of the game. I'm not saying that.
I don't know, maybe I just haven't hit the cool ones yet. You know?
I'm really looking.
But Trouble
forward.
in Chaintown was not really.
Yeah, right. I'm really looking forward to playing more of it, and obviously, Witch Queen is coming out tomorrow. So like, there's an Elden Ring, which we're about to talk about. But like, it's an amazing technological achievement that I will say I don't think is for everyone. At the same time, playing it, it's very like story heavy initially, you know, and I think if you're not really into that, and also if you're just not really a fan of like third person, like there's a lot of stealth that you kind of have to do. You're forced to at times. If any of those are not your thing at all, then this game probably would annoy you for a little bit before you got to the actual meat. Yeah.
So far, like I said, I'm only 8.5 hours into the game, but it doesn't seem like it's breaking the mold of Horizon Zero Dawn, right? It seems like we made another one of these and it's bigger and badder, but it's another one of these, right?
Yeah.
So if like
bigger,
the first
badder,
one
more refined, yeah.
If the first one didn't do it for you, it's not, you're gonna find anything crazy. Plus, you really want to play the first one to like catch up on the story, frankly, because this one just gets right into it. There's like a quick recap, but honestly, like I feel like even now I want to go back and watch like one of those YouTube videos that does like the story of this game and plays all the the important bits, because there are some characters that I had forgotten about that I think are really key in this.
Sure, yeah. There's a few things happening with that, yeah.
They have specifically like the billionaire dude who kind of I don't want to ruin anything but yeah, I think there's a brief synopsis at the beginning, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it is on PC, so if you do want a 60 FPS experience, you can get it on PC and then play it on PS5 later on for Forbidden West. But
I already played through it, so I just want to kind of get a quick.
That's how I felt too.
Yeah.
Cool. So Elden Ring, right?
Elden Ring. I just got a quick. Watts tweeted this out this morning. She's like, "Yo, Elden Ring on PC is coming out like 6 hours earlier than on consoles.
Damn.
And it's kind of an important 6 hours too, because it's like get it on, like, for me it's 6 p.m., but I think for you it's 3 p.m. on the 24th instead of like 6 hours later.
Well, also, will it run on Steam Deck?
I don't know. That's a good question, because I would like to be able to play some Elden Ring on Steam Deck.
Rolling around on this, that overworld. Like, did you watch the reveal trailer, the recent one?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. I don't know if it was a recent one.
I think it was a recent one. The one of the within the past week or so. It's like this game is looking amazing. Just come on.
Are you definitely playing on PC?
I was actually going to play it on PS5, but now that the hour review, the early hours of playing, and also thinking about Steam Deck is a possibility.
I'd forgotten Steam Deck.
Right? I mean, I don't know if that's going to feel good, being very precise with doing a boss battle, but if I could like be chilling with the Steam Deck playing Elden Ring, I mean, that's exciting.
Yeah, well, if it's an open world game, there's going to be open world stuff that you have to do that's not necessarily like pinnacle.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. When I play the Souls games, I often find myself in I kind of have to grind right now situation.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I got to build up some souls and turn them in to make my character stronger because I'm weak and pathetic.
Gotta get good one way or the other.
Yeah, right? I'll take the artificial means. I'll take the steroids, please.
Briar's got a dope when it comes to FromSoft.
Yeah.
Games.
Oh, for sure. I'll take the cheese boss option for $1, Alex. Yeah, I don't know, man. I really want to play it on PS5. I really want to have like a physical copy of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But getting it at 6 p.m. This decision might be coming down to, am I still playing the Witch Queen? Like when that game releases on PC? Like, do I want to actively just go over to my computer and download it? Or can I wait till the next morning, wake up, and go over to Best Buy and pick up a copy of the PS5?
Interesting. I mean, you could, yeah. I don't know. Like, for me, the biggest thing is the Steam Deck. Because the Steam Deck,
we don't know if it's going to work.
I know, but it could work in the future. There could be a patch that happens that makes
I could be well done with the game by then, though.
I could see myself playing Elden Ring multiple times through. I could see myself doing a run where I'm like, what's the skin bag run? You're just a worthless bag of skin, Like, do a playthrough like that on the Steam Deck, and then have like a different playthrough, like my first playthrough. You know what I mean? Those type of games, if they're really good, like Bloodborne, I played through, I think 3-4 times. With I did like a cane run and like a different builds. So I could see myself really using the Steam Deck. I could also just get it on PS5 and Steam, but it would be nice to.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
it'll be on sale at some point for $20 on Steam, right?
It's true. Yeah. But that's one of my factors right now. I'm thinking about things. That Steam Deck really changed everything for me. Now I'm like, I actually like to buy these on Steam now at this point, just so it's in that library.
Yeah. Did you hear anything about the Wii U and the 3DS store closing down?
Mm-mm.
So Nintendo's shutting those stores down.
Yeah.
Right? They've given us a year to like buy all this stuff. But really, it kind of, for the most part, it closes in March because that's when they're going to stop accepting credit cards. So you won't be able to put any money into it. So you won't be able to buy anything,
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Like, how does that make you feel as a gamer? Do you care?
I don't think Nintendo's been handling it very well. I think Nintendo's online technology has been the worst out of all the game platforms across the board.
Yeah.
Like you look at like PlayStation would probably be next because they've had issues with their network, but then they were like dropping stuff, but then they've reverted. Like they've said, oh, actually, we'll change this policy or whatever. Then you look at Xbox, and Xbox has been amazing at trying to bring things forward, included things in Game Pass, and like make 360 games, certain 360 games compatible in the Xbox One or the original Xbox games. So I think Nintendo has a long way to go on this topic because there's amazing titles out there, and there's going to they crack so hard on people doing the what do you call it? The emulators
Piracy.
and all that. Yeah, piracy. Yeah. But like the emulators are the way to keep a lot of that stuff alive, and they crack so hard on it, but yet they're shutting off big ways for people to acquire those titles. So I think they need a whole revamp of how they approach that. Personally,
yeah, I don't know how much it costs for them to keep those servers up to service the Wii, the Wii U, the 3DS, but honestly, the reason I don't like buying stuff digitally is because of the Wii. When they shut down the Wii, I was like, what the fuck?
Right.
Like now, anything I bought on the Wii, once they shut that down, like I won't be able to, like if my Wii breaks, I won't be able to download that again. Like, so it's just lost to the ether. So I've bought, like, that's the biggest problem for me with digital goods. It's like, Stadia is this way. It's like,
yeah,
buy a game on Stadia for $60, but when Google inevitably closes down Stadia, you're never going to have access to that game again, right? Unless they give you like a coupon for Steam or something, which they're not going to do.
A side topic that I feel like there's a small growing number of Stadia users that get really annoyed when people talk about Stadia getting shut down.
Well, I mean, they're shopping it around, right?
They're shopping the technology.
Google is shopping that thing around.
Yeah, they're definitely shopping the technology. Yep.
They shut down a bunch of development for games for Stadia. Like I'm not. Hey, if your Stadia is your platform of choice,
that's great.
I just want to put a lot of money into it. You know what I'm saying? Like
maybe keep that investment low. Yeah. Los Changers in chat talked about the game preservation. Like that's what I was trying to say that I couldn't say eloquently, is that the game preservation from Nintendo is, I think, the worst out of all of the platforms. They've done the worst job over truly keeping preservation alive. They've done re-releases and they've done like weird Nintendo shop things where you get some sort of arcade version or something like that, but I don't feel the love for what Nintendo's offering, especially if you're a longtime user. Like if you had an account with the Wii, like the best thing would be all of your titles get transferred forward onto the Switch. If you owned things on the Wii, that would be that's the solution that like Microsoft's doing. If you own titles on your Xbox account from the past, stuff is coming forward, right?
Yeah. They're
not
like, why shut it down? Like, I don't really get that. It's like, I understand that it costs money, but like you're investing in your player happiness. You're investing in your own future.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I set up an Xbox 360 not that long ago because I got this like weird ass old HD CRT. I'm like, I want to see what Xbox 360 games look on this.
Side of the street, right?
Yeah. Literally.
Briar's Street TV.
And when I hooked up the Xbox 360, it's like, oh, I could go in and look at all the games that I ever played on any Xbox 360 because, like, let's be honest, the reliability of that console was not high. I had several Xbox 360s. But any game that I'd ever downloaded for that game or demo that I'd ever downloaded for that game, I could just download right away and like start playing. That's true with the PS3 right now, but they tried to shut it down last summer.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it was only due to outrage that they're like, but fuck PSP though.
Yeah. Fan pushback saved it a little bit, but they still are like, sharpen their knives. Like, well, okay, we'll wait before we chop this up. Yeah. I wish Nintendo.
Meanwhile, like Microsoft's like, oh yeah, not only can you play all your old games, but we're also gonna make them look fucking awesome with HDR support and like up-res them, you know?
Yeah. I feel like Nintendo just doesn't care. They're like, look at all these people that buy our games. Why are we going to put the effort into making sure this stuff comes forward when we could just repackage it and resell it because people buy it still? That's the impression I get. I don't know if it's really what it is, but
yeah. I don't know. I don't like it. It makes me want to not buy digital games. I always worry about Steam. Like, what if Steam gets bought by somebody who is not the curator that
Microsoft
Scuf Gaming is, right? It's like, what if someone had your Steam library? How devastated would you be? Like, a lot of people have thousands of dollars in their Steam library. And
I've
there's
seen,
no, I mean, there is no option. Like, there is no
yeah,
physical library. You can
I've
buy your games off a like a non-DRM site, like what's it called? I always forget the name of it. The one that's owned by the CD Projekt Red guys.
oh yeah. I forget as well.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, like Steam libraries, like it's just a company, man.
Dog, yeah, for sure. I've seen people sell their Steam libraries on eBay for a lot of money. Like that happens.
Really?
Yeah, you can sell the account.
Huh?
I don't know if it's
That's
against
weird.
terms or anything like that, but yeah, I think that's kind of the nature of where things are going, though. Digital libraries becoming more and more accepted, and companies having to. It's the maintenance and the maintaining the preservation type of stuff. We don't know what that's going to look like, 10, 20
Yeah,
years in the future. So,
yeah.
hey,
I
speaking
feel
of,
like less and less people care about it all the time too. So it's like maybe it's just an old person's problem who remember like here
I
I
think
am
it's
sitting
going to
with
be
like
more
a copy
complex.
of Fester's Quest for the NES thing.
Fester's Quest. Oh my god, I remember that game. I think it's a thing where more people will be aware of it as time goes by, because it's your nostalgia. If your nostalgia for your digital library is there and gets broken 10, 20 years down the road, people are going to be interested in keeping that alive. So hopefully the
Yeah.
companies are interested as well. Speaking of games, getting a revisit, a re-injection. I played Cyberpunk 2077 on
Oh,
Xbox
tell me
One
about
or
this.
Xbox Series X last week, because they finally did the update where they made next gen consoles comparable, I guess, to where they've done a bunch of bug fixes. I haven't really been keeping track of what's happened with Cyberpunk, but
Yeah, it's been a hard year.
yeah. They've finally updated it so your PS5 and Xbox Series X can play the higher fidelity version and all that. And I started a
Yeah.
brand new character, and honestly, the game is actually pretty great. I've forgotten.
I like the game. It's just
Yeah.
the release, like the state that it released in was so bad, especially
Terrible. Yeah.
if that game, Tefty, if they had just canceled the PS4 and the Xbox One version of that game and never released them, I think we'd be having a different story about that game.
We absolutely would. Or if they just gave it another year or two, if they released it right now.
Yeah.
During this
Yeah.
month. It's a good game, honestly, and it's really detailed, and yeah, it's been cool playing it on Series X. I enjoyed it.
It's 60 FPS too, right?
It's the same type of crap where you get to pick between ray tracing at 30 FPS or performance at 60 FPS. So once again,
I can't imagine choosing 30 in a FPS game.
Nope, not at all. I chose the performance mode for 60 FPS, and it definitely played better. There's no field of view slider, unfortunately, and that sucks.
Okay.
It does feel a little, like it feels a little Destiny 1 claustrophobic.
Yeah, a little cramped.
Yeah, so that's a little weird. But yeah, I mean, it's actually a good game, and like I think it's on sale right now for the consoles. So if you never picked it up, I think you can pick it up for $30 right now and get the upgraded version.
Retail copies for like $5.
Oh, or do that and get a free upgrade. Yeah. I haven't looked on how these things are for this game, but
yeah,
I'd say now with bug fixes and being able to play with 60 FPS on the next gen consoles, it's a good experience. It's fun.
Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw the list of notes and it was extensive.
Yeah. That game was broken.
They didn't hype it too much. Like they just kind of stealth dropped it at possibly the worst possible time to
Easily
stealth drop an update to your biggest franchise or your big franchise.
Yeah,
like man, that would have been better timed any other time but February. Because I'm surprised you checked it out. Honestly,
yeah, I was curious because I remember enjoying I played on PC obviously. I remember enjoying.
I loved
the
it on
beginning
PC.
part.
I had a great time.
Yeah, obviously it looked great, and I feel like I feel like they ironed out. There was that weird the visual side on the PC had this what's it called, the DLSS type of stuff.
Yeah,
I feel like that didn't look as good as it does now. I feel like they've tweaked it because on
you were playing at 1080p though, right?
No, I upscaled to 4K.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, did the thing, and like I tried multiple things. I remember thinking it looked there was like a weird calculation, like a haze to it, and that's not the case with the consoles. So they've definitely I feel like they've done some tweaking to it.
Yeah, I played through that on PC with at the time a 2080 Ti was as good as I could get. I suppose I should check it out with the 3090 now, but I was able to get 60 FPS with some of the ray tracing in 4K, and it looked. I thought it looked pretty sweet.
Yeah,
I mean, there were some serious bugs in the game. I'm not gonna pretend there weren't, but I had fun playing it. I like the story and all that.
JJ in chat said apparently it's ray trace shadows and no reflections, I guess. So I haven't looked at like what is proper ray traced on the console versions. But if you've been waiting to play Cyberpunk in a version that actually works on next gen consoles, I think it's finally here now. So when you are not playing Witch Queen, Elden Ring, Horizon Forbidden West, you can take a dip into Cyberpunk 2077 at some point. Yeah.
I got one last game I'd like to mention. This is a game that's not out yet. It's coming out, I believe, March or May. I forgot, actually. I should have written it down. But it's called Ganryu 2. It's spelled Ganryu 2.
Okay.
It's hard to Google because Ganryu is a DLC character in Tekken 7.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So it's a little hard to Google, but if you put the 2 after it, this is actually a sequel to a Neo Geo game that they're just, I don't know why they chose that game to make a sequel out of, but they did. But this game looks dope as hell. It's like kind of that like 16-bit style, right? The pixel art style. Samurai, but it looks like a cross between something like Shinobi and Ninja Gaiden. It looks fucking cool as hell, man. And they're doing physical releases in Europe. I don't think they've announced any physical releases for the US yet, but this game just looks dope as shit. I got a thing for ninjas.
Yeah.
And this game features ninjas heavily.
Nice.
But yeah, keep your eye on that one. That one looks cool. Hopefully it's as good as it looks.
That should be fun. So, Witch Queen's coming out tomorrow, Briar.
Yeah. That's right.
How deep you going?
I mean, I'm gonna download it. I'm gonna start playing it. I'm gonna stop playing it when we do the podcast on Thursday, probably. I don't know what to expect, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what to expect. Like, how big is this campaign gonna be? How hooked am I gonna get back into Destiny 2 from this release is really kind of the question. Like, I'm hoping that I love it. I'm hoping that I don't have a similar response that I had to Shadowkeep, where it's all right.
Yeah, I feel like Shadowkeep didn't really do mid to late game grind that well. Like, if you're already in Destiny and already playing it a lot, like, you didn't notice that. But like, I think a lot of the players that dropped off, like, you drop off from the fatigue of doing the same stuff over and over and over. So if it becomes like now do strikes, Crucible, and Gambit ad nauseum,
that is where I fall off of Destiny right there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people who have been in a Destiny but have fallen off for those type of reasons, where like that's basically the loop that happens. They added some stuff with Shadowkeep or the Beyond Light with the end game to player retention end game type of stuff. I think Destiny really needs solo end game retention type of activities desperately to scratch that itch for players to keep them going on there. And I hope that like weapon crafting and the legendary campaign stuff and all that are like great steps towards that direction, Yeah. Because it's an amazing friend game. If you got friends who play Destiny, look no further. Like that, it's amazing when you got a squad and a bunch of people that are down to play. But I think solo grinders, I think have the worst of it once they get into the end game content.
Yeah. I don't know. Something about where we're at right with that game is they don't do a whole lot of new strikes. They don't do in Destiny 1 there were daily missions where you just play campaign missions, but it was a daily thing, right? And I don't like Gambit.
Gambit has really grown on me. It's surprising. Like I started out thinking,
I know.
I was like, Gambit, this is a pain in the ass. Why would I play this? And then as time went by, I made the meme about always invading with 15 motes or never depositing 15 motes, or playing it exclusively as like a bounty simulator and not like playing the actual game. And then as time went by, like I just found myself enjoying the rhythm of Gambit a lot more than I think it's because I don't like Crucible anymore. I feel like Crucible has become painful. And like even with the changes, I still don't really find myself wanting to play Crucible more than a few matches. I still think it's like I don't know. It just, I don't like it anymore. It's not what it felt like in D1 to me. So Gambit has replaced that a lot for me.
My main joy in Gambit comes from invading, and at that point, what am I doing here? I should just be playing in the Crucible.
Yeah, if you only enjoy invading, playing the Crucible. But yeah. Cool.
We said a tight half hour today. I think we killed it.
We did, yeah.
Right on right on the nose, right?
Yeah, we're gonna wrap this one up here. Not as long as the usual one, but it was a different episode today. Just Briar and I hanging out. Thank you very much for watching and listening and chilling. Shout out to our Patreon members and our Twitch subs for supporting the shows. Obviously, exciting stuff coming this week between Witch Queen being the biggest one, and then obviously Elden Ring. Just gonna hit the snooze button on Elden Ring, not play that one.
Yeah, sure. I somehow got addicted to King of Fighters, and like, why did I even buy that game? That was stupid.
Why did I play Cyberpunk last week? That was stupid.
I don't know.
Right?
That was stupid.
That was stupid. What are these choices I'm doing? So yeah, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. We'll see you in a few days for DCP Live. Bye, everyone.
Bye.